Hello, welcome to Sound and Fury Book Reviews. As usual, I am Tina. Today I'm doing a book review of The Djinn Waits 100 Years by Shubnum Khan. This is a book that came out in January 2024 from Viking. It's a historical fiction slash kind of gothic mystery. I listened to this book on Audible. I thought the narrator did a great job. This is why I know how to pronounce some of the things properly. Though I'm guessing I'm still going to butcher some stuff, so I apologize for that. Like a good soup, this novel simmers for quite a while, but the overall result is well worth the wait. What's it about? Akbar Manzil was once a grand estate off the coast of South Africa. Now nearly a century since it was built, it stands in ruins, an isolated boarding house for misfits seeking to forget their pasts and disappear into the mansions of dark corridors. Until Sana. She and her father are the latest of Akbar Manzil's long list of tenants seeking a new home after suffering painful loss. Unlike the others, who choose not to look too closely at the mansion's unsettling qualities, the strange assortment of bones in the overgrown garden, the mysterious figures seem to move sometimes at night, she is curious and questioning and finds herself irresistibly drawn to the history of the mansion. To the eerie and forgotten East Wing, home to a clutter of broken and abandoned objects, and to the locked door at its end, unopened for decades. Behind the door is a bedroom frozen in time, with faded photographs of a couple in love and a worn diary that whispers of a dark past. The long-forgotten story of a young woman named Mina, the original owner's second wife, who died there tragically 100 years ago. Watching Sana from the room's shadows is a grieving Djinn, an invisible spirit who once loved Mina and has haunted the mansion since her mysterious death. Obsessed with Mina's story and unaware of the creature that follows her, Sana digs into the past like fingers into a wound, awakening the memories of the house itself and dredging up old and terrible secrets that will change the lives of everyone living and dead at Akbar Manzil. This book does take a while to get into. You're not sure what the deal is with the estate or Sana, or even what direction the novel is taking at first. It's not a horror novel, it's not a ghost story, it's not a literary fiction. In truth, it's a gothic story. It's full of mystery, bizarre characters, a slightly creepy factor, a mansion, and tragedy. Everything about it fits the gothic genre. For the first bit, though, it's just a teenager living in a weird old house with a bunch of eccentric, lonely people. The story kind of putters along, but then we start getting into the historical fiction side of things, which is when the book really gets going. This part is absolutely enthralling. The descriptions, the story, the atmosphere, the characters, it's so well done. The prose in both sections is lovely, very lyrical and enchanting. Given the dual timelines, we have many characters, all of whom feel very real and layered. The Djinn, who is sort of like a ghost in the novel, doesn't get a huge backstory like I expected, but, it was the way that the two storylines were tied together. Yet we still feel for the Djinn, as we do all the characters. Even the characters you don't like act in a way that makes sense for who they are. Nothing in the story feels out of place. The story has a lot of depth. We have the world itself, of course, the city, the mansion, the rooms inside. Each of these has a presence and influence in how the story functions. Sana's story is a coming of age, letting go of grief, where Mina's, in parallel, is a tragedy. Mina's legacy in a roundabout way is how Sana learns about the past and about history, and it's never clear where the story is going while you're reading it. You know the outcome, but not how it gets there. It's as interesting at times as it is sad and tense. I'm not sure if this is the intention, but it seemed to me that the novel was showing what happens when women are treated as property, when they have no say in how to live their lives, and or when they place their self-worth only on how attractive they are to their husbands, something that society has instilled in them given the worth given to women in said society. It's a story about jealousy. Sure, there's no denying the culprit of the actions here, but I would also argue this is a story about patriarchy, about how the pressures of such a system, of course, would drive someone a little nuts. Especially when they feel trapped, like they have no options, and when they literally don't have any options because they have no rights. It's also about elitism, about escape, about family, and about expectation. The book is not for everyone, because it's not a typical story. It doesn't wrap things up in a bow, and the ending, while not upsetting, is not exactly a party, yet it suits the story perfectly. Yes, you'll have some unanswered questions, but that's kind of the point, I think. Sana's sister, for example, you might finish the novel and be like, there wasn't really an explanation for that. But I would say in response, I don't think it needs one. It's up to your interpretation. It's part of the fantastical, magical part of the novel. You're meant to draw your own conclusions from some of the things about it. So, if you enjoy elegiac prose, realistic characters, a crumbling mansion, a very upset ghost, historical fiction, eccentric people, or are a white person like myself looking to read something outside of your culture, do check this one out. It does take a while to get going, as I said, but once the historical fiction starts, it really does pick up. By the end, I kind of fell in love with it. Okay, so thanks.